Cardinale Stadium on the Pacific Coast, and Monterey Bay is ready to welcome one of the hottest teams in the championship tonight. It is the explosive final game of this Saturday evening, and it's Taco Fest 2025. Monterey Bay hosting Hartford. Mike Watts joined by Jeff Antonella, and you think about where the Western Conference standings lie. If you're Monterey Bay, you're not that far off, but you don't have a lot of games left to make up ground. They are 6 points off Phoenix, only 6 games remaining. They've entered the danger zone. And a reason why for that, Jeff, they've just struggled to score of late. They started so hot out the gate. They probably need to win this game.
Well, in our conversation with Coach Jordan Stewart, he talked a lot about how he was happy with the team that was playing, but not their ability to sustain the result. So maybe if they get a lead, they're able to get that lead, but they're not able to hang the result and put together the full 90 minutes. And for Monterey Bay, they're still in this playoff contention. For them to be able to make a push, they need to get 3 points in as many matches as possible, and it has to start tonight.
They're going to make a number of changes in the attack. One thing they won't change, Nico Campazano.
He's been a stalwart for them in goal. He's second in the league in saves, and that's only because he hasn't played tonight. He'll make a few saves tonight, and he'll bump himself back up to first. He's somebody that's a big-time goalkeeper in terms of the way that he plays with his feet and his ability to make that big-time save and bail out his defense when he's needed.
Conversely, for Hartford, a week ago, I texted Brendan Burke. I said, hey, what a great win. He said, Mike, run and gun is back. 6 wins in their last 9.
What a great response to a text as well. They're playing fast. They're playing strong. They just clinched their spot in the Jägermeister Cup final. So they're having fun. They're getting wins right now, and this is one of the hottest teams in the entire USL. They're scoring goals. They're playing good defense, and this is going to be a tough task for this Monterey Bay team. When you're talking about a team that needs to get 3 points, this Hartford team is one of the hottest in the entire USL.
In recent years, this is a group that's been opponents' banana peel, the spoiler at the end of a season. Not this year. They were dead last in the championship's Eastern Conference 2 months ago. But now they've navigated up to 5th, a win today, and they're in striking distance of 3rd or 4th and a home playoff game. And if you're going to make that turn at the end of the year, Brendan Burke bringing in Haji Berriu, he helped tutor to the Player of the Year award in Colorado Springs is a good place to start.
It's an excellent place to start. When you talk about a player that has the ability to score goals and a player with big-time experience, to bring him into this lineup, especially at this point in the season when Hartford is feeling good and they have good energy, to bring in a player that has the ability to do what he does in front of the net, put the ball in the back of the net, it just adds to the firepower and just gives his Hartford locker room more of a boost, more of a confidence, and somebody that they can really lean on in terms of when they're making that playoff push.
So Haji and Hartford, a terrifying threat tonight. Monterey Bay is getting to must-win territory in trying to evade elimination. It's a big East-West matchup. Lineups and kickoff when we return.
As Montage Health celebrates its 90th anniversary, we're taking a look at the past, recognizing how we started and where we are heading. Over the decades, we have grown from a hospital to an entire healthcare system. Today, Montage Health remains an independent, locally owned, nonprofit organization. We are proud to offer healthcare services for every chapter of life. At Montage Health, our history of excellence is rooted in a commitment to our community. That commitment lives on today and for the next 90 years and beyond.
At Taylor Farms, our goal is to create healthier lives by creating healthy, fresh foods. A stronger community is a win for everyone.
That's why each time the Monterey Bay Football Club scores a goal, Taylor Farms will donate $500 to a local nonprofit. Healthy goals, healthy lives. A more perfect union.
We are Union!
Closing in on kickoff tonight of this USL Championship regular season game, we take you back to Wednesday night. Hartford playing host to Greenville, triumph of League One in the semifinal of the Jägermeister Cup. Joe Farrell in the 70th, the equalizer from Evan Lee, a former championship player. But Marlon Hairston scores in the 85th, proves to be the winner. They add insurance through Michi and Galena, and Hartford, through to their first cup final, will go to Sacramento in 3 weeks' time. Take a look at the starting 11 that Brendan Burke has assembled here tonight. We see not one, but two Prestas. TJ on one side, Owen on the other. They've made 3 changes from their last league game.
The brothers will be holding down the outside back spots for this Hartford lineup tonight. We've seen a lot of changes tonight from the Jägermeister lineup, but only 3 changes from their last USL game. Baloo slots in at that left spot. Barry comes in, number 92 up top. He'll flag Jimenez for that little bit of roll underneath Obalola. And then we talked about the Prestas brother. He coming in to get that spot on the right side, outside right back as well.
And here's Jordan Stewart starting 11. He's made a trio of changes. They're typically higher up the field.
Fair slots in here at that left midfield spot. We have Klein coming in as well. He'll slot into that midfield role. Lions and Scott will flank him. Ivanovic, the goal scorer for them. He'll be running that number 9 spot. He had 4 goals on the year. And then Campazano, of course, the goalkeeper that we talked about. He's going to need to be busy tonight, and he's going to be able to keep this team, trying to keep them get those 3 points so that they can move this thing forward and try to make them push to the playoffs.
And so Campazano and Monterey Bay will try and make an impact here tonight. Their playoff hopes really do hang in the balance. Conversely, the goalkeeper for Hartford is a familiar goalkeeper to Monterey Bay fans. Anthony Siaha returns to Monterey Bay for the first time since departing the club over the offseason. Over 100 saves a season ago, second most in the league. The guy who went from the NAIA collegiate level to the Major Arena Soccer League, a brief non-playing stint in San Diego, and then saw his career take off at Monterey Bay. He's back, and we're underway. It is Hartford Athletic, away to meet Monterey Bay. Hartford as hot as any team could be. Monterey Bay probably need a victory to keep their playoff hopes on full go. Obalola providing pressure, and Panayiotou pushing through. And it's swiped away from a player who reached the final last year with Rhode Island, Panayiotou on loan from New England.
We could already tell a fast start to this game. Both teams getting the ball on the ground, both teams getting it buzzing here. It's only been 1 minute into the game. We've seen a little bit of action here, through balls. Just quick action to start this game here between the two of them.
Akingila goes down, wins a free kick. Let's take a look at tonight's injury report. It's brought to you by ROL&M, local injury attorneys. Ethan Bryant and Elijah Paul remain out for Monterey Bay. Notably out tonight for Hartford, Hairston, Dizpay, and Samadia. This floated across the face of goal and gets cleared by Robinson. You get to this time of year, Jeff, nobody is free of injury.
Yeah, this time of the year, a lot of teams are dealing with different things, but this is why building your depth throughout the course of the season is so important. You want to have players that are able to step onto the field at any given moment, especially in these types of games where you need to get 3 points if you're Monterey Bay.
Both these teams hit the loan market pretty effectively over the last month and a half as well, trying to establish further depth for moments like this. That's Scott, who came in on loan from Dallas in August. And Scott scored the opener against Colorado Springs, but Clegg scoring what turned out to be the championship's goal of the week out of halftime. Kyle Vassell, the second, and Monterey Bay fell, the reigning champions, 2-1. And the Switchbacks suddenly very much in the mix, potentially be hosting playoff games. They were in last place 2 months ago.
Well, that just speaks to how tight the entire Western Conference has been throughout the course of the season. If you're able to go on a run, you're able to pick up points throughout, any type of spurt. You're able to get yourself up those standings pretty quickly.
Monterey Bay knows you win out over 6 games, and 18 points will get you in. This ball lobbed into the path of Siaha, who picks it up. But anything less you talk about how those spurts can change things. Well, they're 6 points off with 6 to go. You know, Anthony Siaha, whether he perfectly fit Jordan Stewart's model or not, I think you could probably speak to, but on the whole, there are very few shot stoppers better than Anthony Siaha in the league. I'm sure a number of Monterey Bay fans with pretty fond memories are happy to see him back in town.
Yeah, especially with the way that the goalkeeper position's been evolving. Let this play out a little bit before we have that conversation.
Klein, the overlap, Robinson, header, snap down, appeal for a handball. Koroleva, the referee, says no.
Well, it could have been there. Dangerous ball into that far post. Try to get that snap back header. Looked like it might have taken a deflection off the body.
That's what she just indicated to Fonguk.
Yeah, shouts of a handball. Said that the hand was close to the body on that one, but it's good build-up play. Get the ball out wide, whip that ball in, try to drive it back across with the header with the far post. Great start here for Monterey Bay, but to your point, Siaha is a goalkeeper. He's one of the best shot stoppers in the league. He's a big presence. He's a big body. Very, very good at making those big-time saves. But the way that the position's evolving, sometimes coaches like players that are a little bit better with their feet, especially at the goalkeeper position now, the way that it's evolving. Maybe a player that's able to connect a little bit more with their feet, be a little bit more attack of the build-up, be a little bit more directional, short passing, possession. And that takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of involvement. And other goalkeepers and other coaches are happy with goalkeepers that are just able to make saves and connect passes the way that they need to, hit the ball long, and live to see another day. So the way the goalkeeper position evolves, what the coaches want from their goalkeeper, that's going to evolve as well. Not everybody's going to fit everybody's system, but a goalkeeper like Siaha, he's going to find a spot because he's able to make so many big-time saves.
Ball knocked down by Panayiotou. It's going to come right back to him. Panayiotou trying to dribble through after Anderson gave him the return. Comes out to Makangila. And it'll roll back to Nico Gordon. Camposano's got it. And in Camposano, you've got the modern, quote-unquote, goalkeeper in terms of distribution. He's been as good a shot stopper as you could ask for.
Yeah, especially when you're able to get both. When you're able to be good with your feet, and it's things like that. Just a low-driven side volleyball. Not every goalkeeper has that in their locker. That's a big part of what Jordan Stewart wants out of his goalkeepers.
There's a foul. Katerina Koroleva discussing this foul, but a chance for us to look back at the potential handball inside the penalty area a couple moments ago.
What's that? Good driven ball to that far post. Let's get a look at it here.
Yeah, off the thigh. Good read.
Yeah, off the thigh. And even the hand, even if the hand was a little bit, it wasn't in an awkward position. Now, of course, if that ball hits that hand when it's detached from his body, that's a different conversation, but the referee was right there, right on top of it. Good call from the referee.
Yep, good work for me. Katerina Koroleva, who's been both in the championship and the highest levels of the women's game in this country for quite some time.
That's a good turn out of pressure there.
And Monterey Bay charging forward with Moby Fair leading the charge. Fair's got an option high. Fonguk plays it back outside. Fair returns to Miles Lyons. He lost his footing. Fonguk slipping ahead. Klein left it off. Back to Klein, the save. Declined by Siaha.
I mean, this is a great build-up here for Monterey Bay. They do everything right. It starts with Fonguk. He's up top. He slips the ball out wide. Look at this connecting pass to Klein. One-touch pass and a big-time save there from Siaha. Even if he spills this ball, look at this save. Through traffic, able to get that hand down, make that big-time stop. And what's more important to that, he secures the rebound. If that ball spills out, there's a Monterey Bay player waiting there to tap it in, but instead he's able to get that big hand down, stop the ball there, smother it with his body, big-time save, and off of a good build-up there from Monterey Bay. Klein with a good attempt there on that near post.
Blues upfield, acquired just a week ago. It's his first game in the championship for Hartford Athletic. He comes in from Colorado Rapids 2, played 34 games there the past year and a half. And like so many players at the MLS Next Pro level, too good for that level, may not be quite breaking through into the MLS. And so a chance to play against more seasoned professionals makes this a really adequate loan opportunity. Referee gave advantage rather than stopping play. Here's Anderson, who's going to put it out. Brendan Burke had his hand up as the player here is still down. And that is Jordan Scarlett, who's just been critical for Hartford in the back line this year.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 ball here. Both players going for the ball. Scarlett takes the worst of it, though, as the foot comes up. Nothing really. Oh, it's the knee. Oh, I thought it might have been the cleat, but anytime you get a knee like that to your hip, that's not going to feel good. But again, I don't think there's any wrong decision there from the referee to let that ball play on. But that's not going to make Scarlett feel any better on the back end.
You talk to just about anybody in this Hartford organization, and the first guy they'll talk about leadership. I know he's got the armband, and sometimes it can be assumed. Jordan Scarlett is the face of this is how we do things here. We've had multiple players, and certainly the coaching staff have indicated much the same. He dealt with injury in Louisville 2 years ago. It's been a pretty vital piece the last year and a half.
When you talk about somebody that's coming from an environment like Lou City, when he comes into this Hartford team, trying to lead the group, you give a player like that the armband, you give him the respect and let him show the way through example, and I'm sure through his leadership with his words as well.
Camposano rolls this into play for Monterey Bay. Winless in 7. And yet defensively, they're pretty well middle of the pack. Been really good at home. They have struggled on the road, only 7 points in 14 road games this season, but at home they've managed 17 points in 10. If there is good news for them, they do finish with a number of home games down the stretch to try and get this thing turned at the very end of the season. It's Jonathan Jimenez, who just crossed over the 1,000-minute mark this year. Sure looks like a lot of people were taste testing the 9 taco trucks here at the outset as they still stream into the stadium tonight.
I wonder how one makes a decision on which taco truck to go with in that situation.
I mean, look, as a husband, I know the answer. It's the one that my wife wants. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Is there a greatest taco? Is there are you a fish taco man? Are you a chorizo guy? What?
So I don't eat fish, so I'm not a fish taco guy, but I like the idea of fish tacos, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. You've been excommunicated from Seaside for that commentary.
I was going to say, I don't think that'll play well. I don't think it'll play well in the local Monterey Bay network, but.
No. From Florida, too. It's not like you haven't been near water.
I know.
Oh, jeez. Here's Fonguk.
I always say I don't trust the food from the sea, but that's just my excuse for not ever trying it.
We'll be fair with the back pass after the foul. And Monterey Bay will possess in that middle third.
I thought it was interesting in the conversation with Coach Jordan Stewart from Monterey Bay about how he felt like his team has been playing extremely well. And it's a young group, and they've been able to take leads. They've been able to play extremely well in first halves, but it's really those second halves, and it's really those moments in the game where they need to figure out how to sustain a lead. They need to figure out how to keep their foot on the gas, how to keep the pressure on. That's really been the thing that has given them the hardest problems this year in terms of collecting points and picking up wins. And we get an early start here. We get a good look at what Monterey Bay is capable of doing here in the first 12 minutes. Hartford's a very solid team, but Monterey Bay's been able to control possession. They've brought the right energy. They've been moving the ball side to side, a couple good opportunities. So it hasn't been a problem in terms of the way that they've been playing. It's been an inability to finish the chances that they've been able to create and really sustain and maintain their level of play throughout the 90 minutes. So that's just something to keep an eye on, especially as Monterey Bay's gotten a fast start to this one.
And you look and your first thought is, just based on the roster, they're going to be better next year than they were this year. And it is year one really for Jordan Stewart to implement what he wanted. He finished the season last year, of course, with the club.
Well, we talked about that as well, as how, especially with younger teams, sometimes you need to go through these learning experiences, and that's been a lot of that this season.
Anderson and Panayotou stand over the ball here for Hartford. This is the edge of the final third.
And this is something that Hartford specializes at, these set pieces. A dangerous spot like this, you try to drop this ball right in between that back line and the goalkeeper, see if you're able to get some runs off of it.
And you're able to get Jordan Scarlett forward here. Ball to the back post is too far for Joshua Balouz, the 6'5" Canadian. So about the size of a maple tree. Robinson. Good leave. Up, back, and through from Klein, seeking Ivanovic. Here's Nico Gordon. Alex Lara. Ball in behind. Ivanovic nearly broke through. Scarlett took it all the way back to Siaha.
Pretty fortunate there for Hartford. It looked like that ball was going to take that hop where Ivanovic was able to run onto it. Scarlett doing a good job shielding the forward I think he was expecting the goalkeeper to come out, but ultimately able to clear that ball out of harm's way.
Anderson. Reverse the USL on CBS Sports Network continues in September. League One battle, old versus new. This in behind. Plenty of contact, spinning free Obalola. Now the shot ricochets away from an onrushing Jack Panayotou and out for a corner.
Obalola doing a great job here. It's a very route one direct ball. He finds that space in behind. Surprised the offsides flag didn't come up, but look at the strength here of Obalola. That's something that's taken note of here. Holding off the two defenders, able to lay that ball off, but ultimately the ball gets deflected and blocked out. But a good route one direct ball. Obalola using that size and strength that he puts on display. Able to get the corner kick here for his side.
Mamadou Jiang, who'd been outstanding as a 9 for Hartford, transferred out, and that gives Obalola more opportunity here. Ball bouncing through. Barry was on the doorstep and ships that out of play. Ooh, Haji Barry trying to ingratiate himself once again in the championship.
And he should have. It's a good driven ball there to that near post. Tons of traffic. Barry, he's getting tugged on a little bit, but a goal scorer like this, you'd like to see him put that ball into the back of the net. Nothing but daylight in front of him. Unfortunately, that little bit of tug throws him off and he puts that ball out for a goal kick, but it was right there for the forward. Lean over that ball, try to put it back where it came from, get it on target. Monterey Bay lucky not to be down here 1-0.
Haji Barry, 79 career goals, entered the night tied with Cal Jennings in the all-time goal rankings. And, well, Jennings scored today. So he's on 80, and Barry will hope to follow.
He just had his chance there, that's for sure.
Most goals in league history. The great Dane Kelly, 106. So a long way to go, but if you're Barry, you're going, all I have to do is 2021 again. I'll be right on the doorstep.
What was Cal Jennings at?
He's at 80 now.
He's at 80. That's a good ball there. Lots of space here.
Fonguk trying to settle, and now went for goal. Well, he's saying clearly that must have hit off Jordan Scarlett. I didn't need to hear him to be able to hear that.
I think he is extremely frustrated, but it's Klein. He's had a good 2 opportunities here, and he creates again here. Fonguk, nothing but space in front of him, has the opportunity to hit this bouncing ball. Clear deflection there. Referee definitely missed that one.
But you know what? Fine, the referee should see that. How do neither AR see that?
Yeah, that's a good point.
At some point, you need a little help here, too.
That's a good point. Clearly a deflection there. But I like that space that was created. I think Klein's done a good job here of driving at this back line, creating different opportunities here with the midfield as well. And if Fonguk would have picked his head up, Klein was making that run in behind as well. So a couple different options there in that counter-attacking opportunity. Should have been a corner kick, but Hartford able to resettle here with that goal kick. That's a good point about the AR. Sometimes just a little bit of help when you miss something like that.
And the AR's 10 yards further up the field and trying to keep an eye on the line, but I don't know.
Sometimes you can just tell by the way the ball travels as well, right?
Right.
There's a difference between a shot from the middle that goes out wide. You see that the way that it's spinning as opposed to a ball that takes a deflection.
Ball into Panayotou. He's been a menace. Anderson still available. Back to Panayotou, sent toward frame, and Camposano dives on the grenade.
That's a good job there by Klein backtracking, but there's too much space here in the middle of the field here for this Monterey Bay defense. Panayotou finding himself nothing but space in front of him. That's 2 different opportunities there where he's had looks 16 to 18 yards out right in the middle of the field. Just a little bit more tracking there from that Monterey Bay midfield to stay with him. Don't give him so many opportunities to run at that back line right in the middle of the field with space in front of him.
Free kick seeded by Lara. Well, let's quickly remind you about the USL and CBS Sports Network one more time. The Richmond Kickers will take on newcomer Portland Hearts of Pine Wednesday, September 17th, 6:30 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Network. And then you can watch the championship in Spanish on TUDN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Select matches available in Spanish throughout the rest of the season. The USLChampionship.com, the complete USL TV listings. Past 20 minutes here. Hartford coming off their Jaeger Cup semifinal victory over Greenville. Monterey Bay off a frustrating defeat at the hands of Colorado Springs on the road last weekend. Monterey Bay in the midst of a homestand right now. They've got New Mexico coming here next and then Sacramento. If you can take 6-7 points out of this, there's a path forward into the final 3 games of the season, but much less would make it a very steep uphill climb.
Well, we were talking about it a little bit. If not now, then when? 3 home games coming up, a place where they like to play. Good opportunity here. But it has, in my opinion, it has to start tonight.
And you've been in these situations, right? Cup competition in the midweek. You go cross country. In theory, if there was a night to nip Hartford in the level of form that they're in, this is it. Hobolola providing pressure. Lara nods it wide. Lions up and away from Prestis. And beyond the other Prestis. As Owen pressing, TJ trying to claim it. worth noting tonight as well, Joe Farrell could hit his 250th appearance, but he comes off the bench this evening, and Deleuze gets his first appearance in the team after Farrell played on Wednesday night. It's a foul from Hartford. Oh, Monterey Bay is stuck to their guns. Hartford nods that forward. Obalola working off of Haji Berry. Paniotu onto his left. Paniotu, what a goal! Jack Paniotu curls that inside the post, and Hartford Athletic has the lead.
Strike a pose. My, oh my, this is a golazo. Look at Siaha. He even came all the way up to celebrate this one. You will not see balls struck better than this. And it's against the run of play a little bit. They catch him in this counter-attacking opportunity. Penioto, he's had 2 other chances in front of the net. I talked about how you need to get tighter to him. Look at this finish. He takes his touch inside, sets his mind to hitting that corner, bends it into the corner absolutely perfectly. Nothing the goalkeeper can do there. There's too much space for a player like Panioto to have that time to take that touch inside, pick his head up, and pretty much do exactly what he wants. Too much time and space for the Monterey Bay defense to give him. Beautiful strike, absolutely perfect. And that's what you need for your Hartford. If you're a Hartford fan right now, you love to see something like that. It's against the run of play, and in a little bit, it's that build-up, it's that counter-attacking transitional moment. And just an absolute brilliant strike there to tuck that ball into the far post.
18th championship game, inclusive of the playoffs. Second goal, go with 3 assists, all with Rhode Island last year, the El Clamico rival. Played 17 games with the Revs in MLS, their former Academy Player of the Year that they signed out of Georgetown.
I talked about 10 minutes ago, though. There's just been too much space. That's the 3rd different opportunity that he's had to have a shot. The first 2 were blocked, but this one, there was absolutely no blocking that one, no saving that one either with its placement. But there's just been too much space here, especially from in those transitional moments. Ball checks in, Panioto makes that run out wide. Once he takes that touch, the defender from Monterey Bay needs to close that gap more. He takes that touch inside, he's able to open up his entire body. With a player like that, you gotta either force him to the baseline, or once he takes that touch inside, you gotta be able to close that space. But instead, he's able to pick his head up and just bury that into the far post.
And if you watch him at Rhode Island last year, he victimized opposition in exactly that way. That's part of the scout on Jack Paniotu. None of this has been surprising from him.
And don't let him take that touch inside. It's got to be something that's written on a board somewhere.
You know, I think the casual soccer fan doesn't necessarily realize the depth of scouting that goes into individual matchups on the length of the field. If you're sort of a novice or a newcomer to the sport, those little things, letting him get inside onto that left foot, and then those things more often than not they're trends. They're common. We've seen it 3 times in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a player where if I'm doing scouting on him as a goalkeeper, my goalkeeper coach has probably showed me 50 different times where the players cut in and had a good look at a good opportunity. So those are things that you're aware of on the field, and especially from a goalkeeper, from a defensive standpoint. If you know that a player likes to cut in like that, you show him to force him out wide. You make sure that you overemphasize making sure that he does not cut in so he doesn't get the opportunities to do that. But I mean, that's always easier said than done. Same thing happened to me with Carlos Vela. Everybody knew he wanted to touch it inside and bend it far post. Sent me diving literally into the far post. I hit my shoulder on the far post trying to swat at a ball that he put perfectly in the corner. So you do a lot of scouting, but if somebody hits a shot like that, it's tough for a goalkeeper.
Yeah, you're neither the first nor the last to be on the wrong end of a Carlos Vela golazo.
No, it was social media likes to play it every now and then, and it's a nice reminder of the goal I gave up in the diving into the far post.
I'm going to ask you a question about this in a minute. I'm not. All right, it's now. Is there a guy where you kind of go, I gave up a goal to him, but in hindsight, like I'm going to tell my kids about it?
I have a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wayne Rooney, Zlatan. I brought down Zlatan for a penalty. We ended up losing the game 2-1, unfortunately, because it was my penalty. But
most people pay to hug Zlatan.
I didn't hug him. I definitely didn't hug him. It wasn't. I thought he dove, but definitely didn't hug him.
Zlatan would tell you Zlatan doesn't dive. Panayiotou hits the cross and a sliding effort in at the back post. I don't think anyone came out of that feeling very good.
But again, there's just too much space for him. Monterey Bay has to do a better job of getting their defenders closer to Panayiotou. He's been the dictator of the game tonight. The shots on goal, the crossing. They need to get somebody a little bit closer.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Zlatan, Wayne, and Vela, are those top three?
I have a picture of Thierry Henry helping me up after I gave up a goal against New York, and that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was the first guy I thought of.
I went through a stretch where I consistently gave up goals to like the coolest players. So it was like, you know, during the moment you're like, oh man, I really wish I didn't give up that goal. But then when you look back at the people that had scored on me, you're like, oh, yeah, that's kind of cool.
I mean, there is that brief moment where the ball's in the air and you're diving that no one has to know that it went in. I mean, it's still superhero-looking stuff. Here's a look at the foul. There's nothing heroic about this instance. Scott with the tug, and then the late slide in.
Oh, yeah, just late to this one here. Does a good job clearing that danger a little bit so he doesn't get the full force of that tackle there from Lyons, but definitely a late foul.
TJ Prestis absorbs the foul. Lyons will accept the yellow card. His 4th in 13 games. Our ratings in Columbus, I'm sure, are through the roof tonight. With all the associated Prestises, Presti watching. Born into the Crew family, so to speak. TJ and Owen's dad, Tom, 2-time MLS Cup champion. Won at DC and at Columbus. His mom, outstanding player. Captained SMU to the College Cup.
And now both players playing at the same time.
Here they are in Hartford.
That's pretty cool.
This ball dribbles to the ground and then stabbed by Belouz. Across the face of goal and out. That took a deflection off Belouz. And it's a corner. Campazano is beside himself.
Yeah, he felt like he was contacted there on the way up, which caused a reason for him to drop the ball. Getting a look at it here. Free kick comes in. He does a good job stepping up. Oh, it's his own player. It's friendly fire. I don't think he realized that. There's traffic here, but it's his own player that bumps into him. He's unable to corral the catch. And those are situations as goalkeepers. Your defenders have to know that you're coming so they can clear the way. Be a little bit more vocal in the way that you're calling it out.
So a Hartford corner just past half an hour. Swung across, this header gets out of play, appeals in all directions. The frustration continues to reign. It is another corner. Makakila shares a moment with Robinson at the end of that. Grant Robinson, having spent time in Rio Grande Valley and Vegas previous. Now his 4th year at Monterey Bay. This swerved in again, and Prestis saw that ricochet around off of Scott, but it's a push in the middle of it that draws the referee's ire.
So I got some good stories that come off of that conversation we just had.
The friendly fire, or
no, the cool people that have scored on me. So after the DC game, Wayne Rooney scored 2 goals. And my old roommate in Portland was his roommate at the time.
Oh.
So we ended up spending the whole night with him at the hotel lobby, just hanging out, talking banter, having a good time. Ended up getting his jersey that game too, so that's hanging up somewhere.
I know a ton of people who've been around Wayne, and if you want to talk about a social creature, he is one.
He was a social animal. It was fun though. It was a cool moment.
There were 2 balls in play. That's one too many. That's too many balls.
I did save Steven Gerrard on his first game with LA though. So saved a breakaway at him. So I didn't only give up goals. Anybody who is listening to this and thinks that I gave up goals in my entire career.
I do imagine you wagging a finger and saying, "Now you walk alone." But
I should have. No, it was more of like, oh wow, look at that. That was cool.
Yeah. Jeff Antonello, Mike Watts on hand. It's the championship on this Saturday night. Hartford with the go-ahead from Jack Panayiotou in the 23rd minute, leading Monterey Bay. Hartford is on a heater unlike any they've experienced in their history. Could argue maybe that 2020 season under Roddy Jaidi is of a similar ilk. But Hartford looks like a team that's a genuine threat in the Eastern Conference right now, although Louisville and Charleston have pulled away from the pack. This is a yellow card issued to Prestis, TJ Prestis.
Yeah, 2 challenges there that could have been deserving there for that card. Tries to get stuck in, win the ball, ends up with a little bit of a trip up late. Skinner looking here. There's the first foul here, and here's the second one. Yeah, referee was trying to give the advantage, but once you do the second one, she's going to go to that pocket, find that yellow card. But to your point about Charleston and Louisville, I think when you have a team, that's a beautiful thing about the playoffs, is when you have a team that's hot, when you have a team that's in rhythm, it doesn't really matter how well you've done throughout the regular season, how many points you've collected. All that matters is if you're able to get into the dance and you carry that momentum into it. So this Hartford team, if they're able to keep this up, you know, they have the Jägermeister Cup final coming up, which will be something that could be a huge momentum swing for them as well. If they're able to keep this up, they could definitely be a force in the Eastern Conference, no matter what their points say.
Well, and here's Fonguk rounding the corner. And back to Moby Fair. And now Robinson hangs the cross to the backside. That nearly kept in play, but tough fall at the end. Sees this out. We could have said the exact same thing last year. Oh, there's Louisville and Charleston. We'll see them in the conference final. That's that. And then Rhode Island goes and upsets Louisville in Louisville, and then they go to Charleston and upset Charleston. They couldn't find their way shooting out of a paper bag for the first 2 months or so, and then they caught fire. Brendan Burke and Hartford are doing much the same thing, and lest we forget, the architect of that Colorado Springs team that won the title last year, don't get me wrong, 2 years removed, but it was still Brendan Burke.
So the formula is there, the coach is there, the recipe's there, so that's the thing about the playoffs, man. You just never know. And it's like that across the board in all sports. Sometimes the hottest team is the team that ultimately is the one that carries that momentum in. But that's not to say that, you know, Lou City just ripped off a win at Pittsburgh, so it's not to say that they're not in good form either. But
sure,
just sometimes those hot teams that have that confidence, that they've been through, that they've been tested, they've been down. There's something to be said about that as well. Teams that are down a little bit throughout the course of the year and they're able to rise up from that occasion, those are some of the most dangerous teams you face in the playoffs.
Here's Seb Anderson. That is a goal kick. And we're still at the point now. You're still a month and a half away from the end of the season. If you go on a losing skid now, what you would say about Hartford is, boy, they were great in the middle of the season.
Yep.
Right? So it's all still hanging out in the balance. Hartford, by the way, it's going to be first weekend of October that they play that Jaeger Cup final away to Sacramento. So they're going to add an extra, 2,500 miles of travel on them. Play that one extra game.
Yeah, but anytime you're playing in a cup final, that's a fun trip to make out there.
It's a lot more
fun. Could be could be fun. It could be a lot of fun coming back too.
Yep. I remember talking with Richard Chaplow about what it was like flying from Tampa Bay back to Orange County after Orange County won the title in 21. I also remember talking to Rick Shantz in Phoenix after they lost the final a couple years prior out on the East Coast. So I guess the point would be that flight back can have two different tenors. Robinson on the drive, it's Johnny Klein. Plays square, the numbers are good in the box here for the Seasiders, up to Klein! And again, his nemesis, it is Siaha, who stopped him twice. And Siaha launches that off that of Guzman and to Campuzano.
You nailed it. 2 opportunities so far in this game for Klein, and a lot of that's come off of his own work. The cross goes out wide and the header ends up right at Siaha. If you remember earlier in the game, he had another opportunity on the cutback. Siaha was able to get his hand down as we get another look at it here. He starts it and then he finishes as well. Look at the way he's able to drive across the field, and then he continues that run to the far post. As the cross comes in, Klein is making that run to the far post. He finds it open on the far post, but unfortunately for him, it ends up right in the hands of Siaha. Something that's happened a couple times here tonight. But take nothing away from Klein. He's done a good job here in this build-up. I really think that he's been the difference in this Monterey Bay attack tonight. He's really been bringing that energy. 1-2 connections, making those overlapping runs, finding himself in front of the net. Just been missing that finishing piece.
If you look at the wristbands for Haji Berry, the color scheme of the flag of his native Guinea. Played for the senior national team there. He ended up at Future FC in Egypt. Last couple of years, was coming off an injury beginning of the year when he ultimately found his way back to Hartford here in recent weeks. 41 goals in 62 games in Colorado Springs. And then at the time, one of the biggest transfer fees ever for a player out of the championship. It's on the heels of his 25-goal campaign in 2021 that he made the move to Egypt. I gotta tell you, I miss that club. So it's actually changed names again. So he left Future FC. It's now called Modern Sport FC. Right now they're third in the Egyptian Premiership through 6 games, Haji's former team.
So it went from Future to Modern.
But before that, it was Coca-Cola FC.
That's awesome.
As opposed to like you go to Chile and it's Colo Colo, you know? This one is just straight up branding. It's like saying you play at Red Bull. Which one? Well, I play at Coca-Cola in Egypt.
That's awesome. Like how it went from Future to Modern.
Yeah, I know. They've graduated. It was the Future, and now it's Modern.
Now it's Modern.
Uh-huh.
That's probably a cool experience. So I'm sure it'd be a fun conversation to have with them. What his experience was like moving out there and living out there.
And, you know, he's a guy who, you know, Haji, he came into the league 11 years ago. I mean, he was borderline still a child when he started playing at Orlando City. Here comes Hartford pushing, firing wide. Woo! Sometimes you're just feeling it. And Owen Prestis thought he'd have a chance to press his luck.
We were just inches away here from another worldie from this Hartford team. And again, it's just too much space. Somebody needs to step to him. There is too much space for him to put his head down. That ball is knuckling too. That had eyes for the corner. But for this Monterey Bay team, that's 3 or 4 different opportunities where there's just too much space for these Hartford attackers to do what they want with the ball. He's driving. Somebody step. Somebody needs to close that space, close that gap, so he's not able to put his head down and pick out that corner. We saw the same thing on the goal as well. Just tighten those spaces up defensively. Give your goalkeeper a little bit more of a chance.
I think Campuzano was not going to get that. He was not pulling that out of the corner. Here's the foul from Lara as Jimenez tried to pump the brakes and then got his legs cut out.
Well, and then this time they step. There's a little bit of, I don't know if that's as much of a foul as it might have been. The attacker there turns it back to the defender. Defender's forced into that action, but that's a better job stepping. Just unfortunately, the foul was called.
And Jimenez threw his arm out too. So if you're Lara, I think part of your argument is I didn't even foul him. The other part is, if anything, he fouled me. Unfortunately for Nico Campuzano, he has found out tonight that there are some players that can do some pretty wild stuff for Hartford. Panayiotou or Berry. It's Berry off the wall. Ricocheted off Prestis. Trying to get this away from harm. Berry back inside. Is it bad that I really wanted to see Panayiotou have a go at that?
I'm surprised that he didn't, to be completely honest, because the way that he's been shooting the ball tonight, especially at the location of where that was, especially with a left-footed player, he really could have put it to either side.
Campesano drives it away. I think if someone says, I've scored 79 times, young buck, this one's mine. What can you really say to that?
There's also the opportunity there. You want to get a player like him on the score sheet, because the more that he's able to get in a rhythm. But I think he's gotten his one. So if there's another opportunity, I wouldn't be surprised if Peniotis is the one that decides to take the shot on the next one.
Yeah. If Hartford's going to win a championship, and it's in the realm of possibility this year, very much now. Hachi Berry's probably going to score a goal or two in that playoff run. That stayed in. And now the pressure on Lions all the way to the end line. And it's deemed a goal kick. So we're approaching halftime here in Seaside, California. Hartford, just 2 losses since June the 20th in all competitions. Leading here on the road. Goal in the 23rd minute from Jack Panayiotou. Fonguk. Robinson. In front of Jordan Stewart's Monterey Bay bench. Outside decline. Rips the service, comes high. Fonguk is going to get there, keep the attack alive here for Monterey Bay. Swinging service in again. Got all the way across the face of goal. And Johnny Klein was one step late.
Shocked that this ball didn't find the back of the net, to be completely honest, because the ball swings out wide. It's a good low-driven cross in. It's this flick to the back post. Klein just a step behind on this one as we get another look at it here. Just unable to get there. Looked like it was going to have an opportunity for the outside winger to make it. That's a little bit better build up there for Monterey Bay. We haven't seen a lot of that here in this first half. 1-2 touches. They had runners in the box. Get that ball wide. Low-driven cross. Just unfortunately weren't able to get that runner there quickly enough.
Yep, Lara finding fair and then nearly a tap in if Klein is just a little closer to it. We approach stoppage time here in Seaside. And Monterey Bay's had a couple chances at this. Klein's been really dangerous. Player's got a goal in 6 appearances since coming in from Charleston. Klein came in at the same time we saw, among others, Rubio Rabin signed by the Battery, so chance for him to get more time here than he would have gotten likely with the Battery. Also brought in Kimi Ordonez, who scored tonight, Charleston did, in what turned into a 3-3 draw with Oakland. So Oakland picking up a point against the #2 team in the league tonight.
It's not. That's a point that a lot of people didn't expect Oakland to pick up.
I didn't.
Big result for them.
Ivanovic.
Probably could have won it as well.
Oakland was up 3-2. Header atop the 18-yard box. Ivanovic. He got teed up nicely by Scott, who himself had a decent moment on the ball.
Unselfish play there from Scott. I thought there was a chance that he was going to open that up, take it to his right foot, try to have it go, but he sees Ivanovic, the #9, coming across his body. Unselfishly with the layoff, Klein played a good ball across to Scott. Good decision there. But Ivanovic unable to get himself over top the ball and find that corner.
Obalola undercutting Guzman, and both sides felt hard done by it. Robinson walks it forward in the final 40 seconds of this half. Klein. Ivanovic. The overlap, Robinson, Ivanovic. It's broken apart. Back over to Robinson. It's become static. Robinson rips the cross.
It just took too long. They had the opportunity there. Klein doing a good job again, driving the ball to the middle of the field. He finds Ivanovic, and instead of Ivanovic making that quick decision to have a go on goal, he puts his foot on top of it, gives Hartford defense the opportunity to get themselves back behind the ball and eliminate that quick transitional moment for them.
And halftime right on the 2 minutes. So Panayiotou scores an excellent goal in the 23rd minute, and that's the separator at halftime, Jeff.
Just great individual moments here from this Hartford team. Panayiotou having a different look, different opportunities. Monterey Bay did a good job at the start of the game. I think Klein's doing a good job creating on that front foot, but it needs to be a little bit more for Monterey Bay. The defending needs to be a little bit tighter, and if you're the Hartford team as well, keep weathering the storm of Monterey Bay, dealing with those attacking opportunities, and make the most of those opportunities as we get them in front of goal, because the shots have been on target and they've been extremely dangerous.
So unfortunately, Monterey Bay may be on the wrong side of the goal of the week again. It was Clegg last week, and it is Panayotou with a stunner this week. Hartford continues this torrid run through the middle part of the season, and Monterey Bay knows that time is beginning to run out with just 5.5 games remaining. First half highlights or look around the league coming up.
It all starts with a spark, an idea.
That idea ignites into a dream.
The dream sharpens into a vision.
The vision fuels a process.
And through relentless craftsmanship, that process is forged into reality. Your vision,
Our craftsmanship.
one unforgettable legacy.
Hola.
¿Alguna otra cerveza?
No, me quedo ultra.
Ok, ahora vuelvo.
Mr. Messi.
Make it look ultra. Cerveza light superior.
Are you paying too much for your car insurance? Call Coast Auto Insurance to receive a free quote and see how much you could save. Coast works with over 50 different insurance companies to make sure you get the best rate for your car, motorcycle, home, or business. Coast is a local company with local people. We do vehicle registration, SR22, and insurance for Mexico. Call Coast Auto Insurance today for a free quote and see how much we can save you. Or go to coastautoinsurance.com, where your peace of mind is guaranteed.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the high five strangers got, game-winning interception, first down, just a nice solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Seaside, California on this Saturday night. Hartford with a 1-0 advantage over Monterey Bay FC at the break. We saw Haji Berry's return to the starting lineup in the championship. Once the biggest transfer outgoing, Mamadou Dieng just made the move to Minnesota United. The USL Championship, very much a part of the global transfer market.
When Nick Marcanic arrived at Charleston Battery in 2023, he had no idea what his future would hold. But after a 28-goal Golden Boot regular season in 2024, Marcanic was on the radar. A 6-figure transfer to Castellón in Spain's second division. A financial win for USL. One of many overseen by Oliver Wyss, USL's head of global football development and sporting director.
All around the globe, guys are moving all directions.
It's perfect timing. Literally a few days ago, the global transfer summer window closed. New records, $9.76 billion spent. Alone $3 billion in England spent. So USL is a very small part of it, but obviously part of my goal is to make USL a bigger part of it.
You see these things come across your desk. What are the steps to take it from that phone call to a deal happening?
Well, I think it's, first and foremost, it's negotiating a good deal, a proper transfer. That is obviously a transfer fee. That is a future sell-on, which is very important, which some of our players are getting out in our clubs in the return. And then it's good incentives. So structuring a proper transfer deal is the key to a successful return of investment on player development.
Give me some of the big ones you've seen and some of the quality that's out there overseas, for instance.
I think you have to do the two records that started with the Weinman brothers, right? One going to Benfica, Josh and Elijah going to the LA Galaxy for record-breaking fees. Josh over $1 million. But then we have follow-ups like Fidel Barajas, where there was also a secondary when you moved from Charleston to RSL and then into Chivas Guadalajara, which gave a big return. We have the likes of Correa Osandina, right, that went to Feyenoord and now at Casapia. But now we just had another recent very good one with Mamadou Cheng that went obviously from Hartford Athletic went to Minnesota United. Good transfer fee, and I'm sure there will be secondary transfer fee that everyone will benefit off.
Who might be next? The rumor mills could churn for USL players at any time. And the next transfer window begins January 2026.
Fresh off clinching their 11th consecutive playoff berth, Blue City winger Aiden McFadden joins the show to talk his 5-year journey as a pro and how this might be the best year of his career so far. Haji Berry is back in USL Championship play with Hartford Athletic. Is he going to be back to his goal-scoring form that saw him win the Golden Boot just a couple of seasons ago? Who's the favorite heading into Final Four action in Jaeger Cup? We got you covered.
Kickers are on the board. Ollie Wrights. It's Portland's pumping ahead 2-1.
Prinks tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks tires will be there for the long haul.
We don't stop chanting, we don't stop drumming, yelling and screaming and chanting.
Back from the dead in the 90th minute!
We'll follow them wherever, pretty much. That's just the love that we have for our team.
As Montage Health celebrates its 90th anniversary, we're taking a look at the past, recognizing how we started and where we are heading. Over the decades, we have grown from a hospital to an entire healthcare system. Today, Montage Health remains an independent, locally owned, nonprofit organization. We are proud to offer healthcare services for every chapter of life. At Montage Health, our history of excellence is rooted in a commitment to our community. That commitment lives on today and for the next 90 years and beyond.
Hispanic Heritage Night in Seaside, California, also Taco Fest 2025. It's a celebratory occasion in Monterey Bay, and it's Hartford that are trying to spoil that event. Let's get you caught up with news and notes from around the championship and beyond. Mentioned it earlier tonight. Saturday, October 4th on the CBS Sports Golazo Network. It is Hartford away to Sacramento in the USL Jägermeister Cup final. All the while, we've spoken quite a bit about Haji Berry as well, but maybe a chance for us to give Augie Williams just a little bit of respect, throw some respect on his name.
Yeah, we'll give him a little bit of credit here. He becomes the 9th player to reach 100 goal contributions. He's a player who has worked his way up to this spot in the hard way. He came with me. He was in the Portland Timbers Academy for quite some time. Has made a name for himself in the USL and has done a good job there with that Pittsburgh group being their leading goal scorer. So congratulations to him. And of course, the good news here that we've been talking about all night here for this Hartford Athletic team.
No doubt. Meanwhile, a look at the scores from earlier today. Loudon, a red card right around halftime. San Antonio opens up a can of 5 goals on them in the second half. Louisville expands on their lead for the Shield. They are now 6 points clear with the tiebreaker over Charleston with 6 games remaining. All the while, Rhode Island a victory over Indy 11 that they desperately needed. And the Rowdies led that game, and they let this one get away.
Yeah, they were up 3-1 in that one. Tough result there for a team that needs all 3 points. We talked about how things are heating up in the Eastern Conference. Lou City getting that 2-0 win, building off their lead in Charleston with that unexpected 3-3 draw against Oakland.
All the while, Sacramento and Tulsa are tussling their way into the 1-seed conversation. The gap there is 6 points. Tulsa, a very late winner over New Mexico, means that Sacramento, 2-0 up on Phoenix, continues to give a glimmer of hope to Monterey Bay as Phoenix currently sits in the 8th spot. All the while, Las Vegas and Miami, as mentioned throughout the week, both paying the same coach, Antonio Nocerino, not to lead their teams. It's halftime here, and both these sides looking for a critical win. Hartford can move within striking distance of a top 4 spot in the East. Monterey Bay trying to stay in the playoff conversation. 3 big points hanging the balance. How it all happened, second half coming up.
It all starts with a spark, an idea.
That idea ignites into a dream.
The dream sharpens into a vision.
The vision fuels a process.
And through relentless craftsmanship, that process is forged into reality. Your vision,
Our craftsmanship,
one unforgettable legacy.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the high five strangers got. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
We're back in Seaside. Get your popcorn ready. We are closing in on second half kickoff. Hartford 1 and Monterey Bay 0 here in Seaside. I'll show you how the first half broke down and peek at first half highlights. Monterey Bay created a couple of chances. Johnny Klein really incisive.
Well, it's a big-time save here from Siaha. He's able to get that big hand down, but Klein's been a pest on all night tonight for this Hartford defense. He's been able to create these chances, 1-2, continuation of runs. It's a good cut back there, but even a better save there. And what I really like about that save is his ability to keep the rebound in his hands. But then we take another look at it here. It's Peniota with an absolute wonder goal. He takes that touch inside. Look at that goal. Look at this finish. Just appreciate what this was. Takes that touch inside. He's able to turn that defender. He has him drops his hips, drops his shoulders, so he has all that space to hit that goal. Absolutely nothing the goalkeeper can do about this one. But again, it was Monterey Bay. They had a couple opportunities here. They had a good response. Klein plays this ball out wide. He continues his run to the far post, but again, Siaha able to make that save at a ball that's hit right at him that ultimately was in front of the goal. Klein would like to do better with that one. And then again, here we get another look at it. 1-2 touches here. It's a through ball for Hartford. As the ball's coming in here, absolutely nobody steps to the attacker. It's knuckling for the side netting. And unfortunately, it goes a little bit wider. To get another look at the stats here. Surprising to see that Monterey Bay's been leading this possession. I feel like Hartford's done a good job of being on top of the ball tonight, but ultimately, you see the dominance that Hartford's had at this one. 10 shots as opposed to Monterey Bay's 6. And then when you're talking about the goal scored, of course, Hartford's got that 1-0 lead. But for Monterey Bay, if they're able to sustain a little bit more pressure in the attacking half, I think a lot of that possession has been on their defensive side of the half. So if they're able to sustain a little bit more possession, try to get those opportunities they have in front of the net. One of the things Coach George Stewart talked about was their inability to finish chances in the ones that they create. So hopefully in the second half, they're able to find the back of the net, keep this game a little bit more exciting, and keep their playoff hunt, keep their playoff chases alive.
Was it changed at halftime? By the way, that's the first assist or goal contribution of any kind in the league for Haji Berry since he left Colorado Springs in 2022. And there is Kyle Edwards, who's been on a tear this back half of the season. He comes in at halftime for Hartford and back into play. Can Hartford continue this epic run? 8 wins in their last 12 league games. Monterey Bay trying to find their first win in 8. Could not be in more different directions as we head into the second half. Ivanovic here for Monterey Bay. Haji Berry did come out at halftime. It was his most extensive playing time since his return. Tonight's substitutions are brought to you by BBSI. What did you make of Haji Berry in that half? Obviously, you can still sort of see a lot of the toolbox ends up assisting the goal to Panayiotou, and it's his ability to suck, sort of gravitational pull everyone in around him, and then Panayiotou comes out the other side. So there's something here for Ivanovic that is blocked by Jordan Scarlett.
Well, he's just a presence, right? He's another presence for this Hartford attack, and you talk about his ability to draw defenders towards him. He also could have had a goal tonight. Early in that first half, he had a defender pulling on him, but he had the opportunity to find himself in front of goal. So, I mean, he puts that goal in, he has an assist. We're talking about one of the best returns to the field that we've seen in quite some time. So he had those opportunities. I think he probably definitely needs to get his feet underneath him a little bit, needs to get a little bit more comfortable with this group. But you can see just what a player like that, what their presence means in terms of just drawing defenders to them and then opening up and creating spaces for the rest of the attackers as well.
Yeah, and I think in a perfect world, Panayiotou and Galena, some combination of Berry and Jimenez and Obalola.
You try to fit Edwards in there as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot. They have a lot of different attacking options.
No, you've got 6 guys that any team in the league would drool to have on their roster.
You talk about the playoffs as well. You need that. You need those players that can come off the bench and make that type of difference. So to have that many different attacking options, it's a wealth for Hartford.
Big ol' corner kick, header toward frame, up in the air. Siaha reaches up and snares it.
That looked like it had eyes for goals as well. That ball was clear off the goal line.
It was. It's going to be a yellow card for inhibiting the restart. And Anthony Siaha has definitely embraced the villain role a little bit this year. It's not often that you see anyone grabbing at their undercarriage on network television in this country, but that's exactly what he did on CBS after a 0-0 draw against Rhode Island earlier this year. And yet you talk to him and he is so humble, so soft-spoken, and then you see him after a big save or he draws a yellow card here and he's clapping, and Ekaterina Koroleva is telling him to cool his jets, I think, a little bit off that.
Well, sometimes as well, the personality that you get on the field is not the personality that you get off of it. You almost have a little bit of that alter ego there.
No, he puts on the Batman mask and plays a different role, I think, on the field.
That's what helps him thrive.
Yeah, he's got quiet confidence when you talk to him. It's an impressive sort of career path for him, one that's forever going to be intertwined at Monterey Bay.
I understand why he's excited, though, because Ivanovic the entire game has been running right in front of him. Every time he goes to drop the ball and start that counterattack, there's nothing more annoying than when a forward does that, and that time he was called for the foul. So for a goalkeeper, you're excited when you get that, not only when you get that call, but when you get a yellow card to it to boot, then you're kind of, gets you a little bit fired up.
Now you've got Ivanovic walking on eggshells for the final 40 minutes tonight. Not that Ivanovic really, even on a yellow, I don't know, I'd say he's walking on eggshells. Camposano will come up and take the free kick. And this dude can lace it, and so he does. Foul through, the whistle goes against Klein. Johnny Klein had a nice run at St. Louis. He got drafted. They really played into his development a bit there. 50 games, 19 goals in the second team, 12 games in MLS. His dad's a Soccer Hall of Famer in St. Louis. Came out of the mighty Atlantic 10, co-player of the year at St. Louis University. Edwards went down. That would have been a really hard done whistle. Picked back up here and struck toward frame with venom by Macangila, and Campazano claims.
Yeah, this team has a good ability to hit the ball from outside the box with power.
Well, that's a Brendan Burke team if I've ever seen one.
But again, there's just so much space in the middle of the field. I understand this one was a little bit different. The ball popped out, but at some point, one of these center backs has to step to one of these forwards or one of these attackers for Hartford who are taking these shots. Oof, big collision there.
And Scott got clattered by Prestis. Prestis came down hard. You and I were talking about this in the Pittsburgh game. Anytime you fall on turf, it feels a little different. Oof. Brother, you all right? Yep, all right. Oh, Scott nearly took Prestis' head off. He put himself in a really dangerous position. Back here to Scarlett. TJ Prestis. Beyond Jimenez. Scott. Too much there. At the backside of TJ Prestis. I didn't see a ton in that either. Jimenez. See the substitutes preparing to enter here. Monterey Bay in a moment. Edwards kept that in. Prestis whips the cross.
Just no runners there. Good bit of skill there from Hartford. Edwards with that nice little heel touch, making that overlapping run. Just no runners crashing into the box to get on the receiving end of that cross. Monterey Bay's got to build themselves into this game. They need to find something, get themselves a little bit more momentum in this one. I think Hartford's really been able to do whatever they've wanted with the ball. Defensively, Monterey Bay hasn't been challenging them too much.
I think something Hartford does really well is they make you pick your poison a little bit. Say, okay, the center back should come a bit further out. Well, they've got wingers that can be really incisive and make those runs in behind. Ball over. Skims over everybody. Robinson knocks it back across. And that is a calm clearance from Hartford out of harm's way. Edwards just got flipped like an omelet and then bounces off his heel. And Prestis will settle. You want to push numbers? Hartford could get it in behind in the blink of an eye with Obalola. Vincent Edwards now in behind. Just feels like if you're going to push one way, Hartford will pull another.
That's a sign of a good team, right? Adjusting to what the other team gives you and what they display. So it's really dealer's choice for this Hartford team. But if you're Monterey Bay, you have to figure out what you're going to do. What's going to be your plan in terms of attacking that? What do you want to be susceptible to? But then also, where do you want to try to get at this Hartford team? Is it the combination play? Is it getting numbers? Is it getting more numbers forward? Is it overloading the width so you can put these crosses in? Just need to see a little bit more something from this Monterey Bay team in terms of what they're going to do and being a little bit more creative in the attack.
So you see Soyberg is coming on for Ivanovic. All subs tonight brought to you by BBSI. Adrian Rebelar, who scored the last time these teams met, a 2-1 defeat for Monterey Bay and Hartford. Malongo is coming in as well. That's Fanguk who takes leave. And Scott is done for the night. So it is Rebelar, Malongo, and Soyberg replacing Scott, Fanguk, and Ivanovic. Notably, Ivanovic was on a yellow card. Couldn't clear the top of the penalty area there, Johnny Klein. Malongo, over ambitious.
Yeah, just ran him over there. Excited to be in the game. But hopefully these are the subs. You need your subs to come on and make a difference. You need your subs to come on and make an impact. Hopefully for Monterey Bay, that's what they've done here with these three. I like Soyberg up top. He's more of an option where he can hold the ball up, a little bit more strength from that number 9 position. See if they're able to connect with him a little bit more than they were with Ivanovic.
Of skill. Broke down. There's Rebelar. 3 goals this year. Goal last year against Hartford, one of his 2 of the course of the season. Shane Beckford scored the winner in that game. Michi Angelino is available off the bench tonight for Hartford Athletic. Tallied the equalizer when the teams met last year. Of course, these are non-conference opponents. Play every team in your conference twice, but you only get a chance to play 8 of the remaining 12 in the opposite conference, and you certainly don't get to play them in both locales. The league's becoming too big. It's kind of like the Big Ten and the SEC, where it's like, oh, can you at least see them every 4 years? There's Kelpie hard at work tonight. I'd like to think Kelpie doesn't eat fish either.
He shouldn't.
Not fish tacos.
I do think fish tacos, the idea of fish tacos sound pretty good.
Yeah. Insofar as you don't add, well, him, I suppose.
What's your perfect taco?
Anything that doesn't have coleslaw.
Any taco that doesn't have coleslaw.
Yep, it's a low bar.
It's the lowest of bars.
Yeah. Is that the best mascot in the championship? There's Pittsburgh's got, the dog. There were live llamas in Las Vegas for a number of years, but they still have Cash the soccer rocker.
What's Orange County's?
Oh. Ball into the box. Snared there. That ghoulish monster that made me drink ghost pepper sauce on television. That one? Is that who we're talking about? Is there something here for Hartford? That ricochets free. And Monterey Bay player saying, that hit my face, I think. There's no handball whistled in real time. It's a pretty gnarly knock he took. Not coincidentally also the name of the Orange County mascot.
See what she did there. Ball spread out. Oof.
Yeah.
Definitely a handball.
No, I think that hit off the forehead of
Do you
Guzman.
think so? I thought it hit that trailing hand. Maybe we can get another look at it there. After this corner kick, maybe we can get another look at it there. I thought it was off the trailing hand. I saw him shaking his head, but I thought it might have been an acting job.
We'll find out in a moment. Ball knocked across, and that is going to roll just wide. Just wide from Edwards, who's trying to find his 10th goal this year.
Goal chin, goal kick. Goal chin, goal kick.
Another good opportunity here. We've seen a couple times now where these balls have been driven across, just unable to get it redirected onto that goal frame.
So a decent chance for Hartford goes lacking, and we've played an hour now. th home game this year for Monterey Bay, trying to evade their 3rd defeat. Bottom of the West, but their home form has been strong. Whistle goes here. It's a free kick. All right, so let's take one more look back at the potential handball or headball.
If you really slow it down, I thought it was his trailing. Oh, no, it was his face. Yep. Nope.
Guzman's like, I told you so, and then here's the chance for Edwards.
Yeah, oof. Unfortunately there, just inflicted, just unable, he's able to find that separation from the defender. Tries to redirect it towards that far post, but just sneaks a little bit wide. I thought on that second look it might have hit his trailing hand, but definitely hit towards the face.
Yeah, Guzman is like, I promise you that hit my head.
Yeah, no. Thought it was a good bit of acting, but that acting might have been a little bit too real.
Yeah, that's right. That's called method acting. Oh, that's the kind of thing that haunts you, sir. Oh, now the person who's sitting with him is booing him, and don't blame other people, man. This was you.
You need to see it.
Well, it's a bagel corner kick. Is there an equalizer to be had? Snap down directly at Siaha, who comes racing out with it and then launches this into space. Robinson is out playing center field. Obalola is going to chase this down by his lonesome and right up the gut past the pressing Obalola back to Robinson. Rebelar got fouled.
This is something that Hartford's been doing this game as well. There's opportunities where it looks like Monterey Bay might have a couple chances to start building things up. It's a little bit of a tactical foul. Fouls to the midfield, nothing too close to their own goal box, but just something that doesn't give Monterey Bay that opportunity to get themselves into a rhythm.
Double sub coming here for Hartford. When they brought in Samuel Carriaga, the thought was that the Argentinian playmaker would be the difference maker. Now he's one of a number that could make that argument. So number 10 checks in. Jimenez comes out. Michi and Galena, the former young player of the year in the league, on as well. And the end of the night for Obalola. Subs are brought to you by BBSI.
I thought Obalola did a good job tonight. A couple different opportunities where he was holding up the forward, holding off the defenders a little bit, creating spaces for his midfielders coming up, making those runs underneath.
And Galena, the last player in the known universe you'd like to play with tired legs. Although to be fair, you talk to Brendan Burke, guys get tired and you get isolated with Michi and Galena and he ends up just getting battered. And in, I think, Hartford's estimation, they really never get the level of calls that Michi deserves. Now, this is definitely one of those beauty is in the eye of the beholder situations.
It's all relative, right?
Uh-huh. But I've certainly seen a number of plays, including one, I think it was against the Rowdies in the penultimate game last year when they were still fighting for playoffs. They were eliminated on the last day last season. that he just got, I mean, assaulted. I mean, his lower leg was just destroyed.
And just wasn't getting the calls.
And didn't get a call.
You're getting a look at this one here. This is the right call on this one, just all body. No attempt to play the ball. Easy call there from the referee.
And a yellow card to Jordan Stewart as well.
There's a bit of frustration starting to set in a little bit with this Monterey Bay team.
It makes sense. This sliding effort will run all the way to Camposano. It's not lack of effort. You watch this Monterey Bay team, and they certainly, this is no country club team. They've put the work in. Sometimes when it just doesn't flow, you don't get the goals. This is a decent pressing action, and one that caused a bit of consternation. And now the giveaway. Klein turns back to the width. That was really good for Monterey Bay. Now the ball across, seeking Jan rushing Soyberg. Sent out to the stands.
Well, listen, there's plenty of time left in this game as well, so.
Yeah. Forward again, and this header goes up above the bar.
We're definitely not. That's a good ball in. Klein making another run. He's been finding himself on the back end of this Hartford defense a few times tonight, but that's been part of the conversation, is finishing the opportunities that you get. Klein's been doing everything right. He's been making these runs. He's been a difference maker here in the attack, but it's just been this finishing piece. The first two opportunities end up right at the goalkeeper. This one ends up over the bar. Another good look. And that's the difference between winning games, picking up points, not picking up points, and sitting where they are in the playoffs, is you have to put away the opportunities. You have to put away. It takes so much work to create these opportunities and these different chances that when you're in front of the net, you need to be able to put them away. You need to be able to get the goals into the back of the net, because the longer that you're not scoring goals, the longer that starts to weigh on you, the more pressure you start to feel in front of the net. And this is a Monterey Bay team that's had these different opportunities tonight, but they just haven't been able to put them in the back and draw a level or give themselves a lead, especially with those early chances.
Prestes. Fair. Elongated run. Support wide, chips outside, ball across beyond Klein. Never reached Soyberg. This is a corner. Bagel corner kick. Lions will do the honors. Monterey Bay finally bashed the door in. Anthony Siaha awaits. Lions. Oh my.
Just has to be a better service there. Put the ball into the mixer. That big ball driven to the far post doesn't give your team much of a chance.
Revelar tosses a sombrero on Anderson. Ball played through, now Soyberg. And that's good defending to slide back into position.
That's great defending there. I thought Soyberg making a good run here. And again, it's Klein creating that opportunity. He picks the ball up in the midfield, driving. Soyberg making that good run. But ultimately, Scarlett doing a good job. Well-timed challenge there. Soyberg definitely was going to put that ball on frame. But good recovery defending there, doing a good job forcing the attacker wide and timing that slide perfectly to block that shot.
Klein. Oh, this is excellent. Lions And he shot it over those mountains.
They've had good build-up play. That's the thing. There's 1-2 touches. They've had a little success here when they're able to overload one side. They overload a couple attackers. It's 3v1. They get that touch inside, and again, it's that final product. That final product just not hit on frame. Another opportunity goes to waste.
Penultimate sub window for Hartford. End of the night for Jack Paniotto. A goal worth watching again.
And again and again and again. Look at Paniotto. He takes that touch inside. Absolutely world beater of a shot here. This should be up for goal of the week. Look at this touch. Picks his head up. Has eyes for that far post. And that's a goal. If you're learning how to hit a ball, perfectly wraps his foot around it. Hit with pace. Nothing the goalkeeper can do. Definitely picture's worth 1,000 words. That's a good picture to be taken right there.
Subs are brought to you by BBSI. Paniotto out, Morera on. And Galena settled. Bounces out, Morera! Saved by Camposano. It was his first interaction in the game. Comes the notebook again. I think that went to Rebel R. It did. 7 yellows this year for Rebel R. He's working toward his career high of 8 last year.
Well on his way.
Plenty of time left. Hopefully not tonight. Rara. Will open things up nicely. Prestis. Mishi and Galena. Ran that up the line. He ran out of real estate. That got out.
There's a cheeky first touch there at the outside of his foot. Just not enough speed to catch up to that one, but the first touch was a good one. And neither of these teams have really found much of an offensive rhythm tonight. It's been a little bit of a back and forth game in terms of the ball just having little bits of possession here and there, but not too much in the build-up. I'd like to see either of these teams put their foot on the ball a little bit more, see if they can possess the ball a little bit more, be a little bit more dynamic and creative in that offensive attack, maybe building through the midfield a little bit. But to your point earlier, Hartford's a team that they figure out ways to get results, and this Monterey Bay team is a young team that needs to figure out exactly how to play some of these tougher opponents. They've created a couple different chances, but just got to get them on frame.
Guzman goes up. Rebel R continues the run. It's a free kick to Monterey Bay, and a yellow card issued as well. Hasn't spent a lot of time in this game, Junior Morera, but he earned it. Kelpie.
I'm ready to give him the nod. back to our mascot question.
#1 mascot in the championship, some would say. This blasted into the stands. So about a quarter of an hour left here. Kelpie hasn't lost the faith.
So those are balls that we're going to talk about this Hartford team a little bit. It's just for tonight as well, but those are balls that you'd like to see them be able to connect and come out of that side and come out of that danger.
Klein. Lions. Siaha.
Good sure hands there from the goalkeeper. It's been kind of the story for Monterey Bay. Some half chances, some crosses inside the box, but not many people making those runs.
Spoke with Siaha a bit earlier this year about his opportunity in Monterey Bay. Talk to that in a minute. That is quite the standing tackle to make. And a chance to run out with the ball in tow.
It's a strong challenge there. But again, instead of slowing it down, let's get these guys forward. Get yourself into the attack now. Go.
Klein and Soyberger there. And you don't get the cross in from Malongo. Now the service. Won't challenge initially, but it's far from done. Lions. Fair. There's a well-covered run in behind. Lara. Snagged by Siaha. So I spoke with him. He said he actually got to know Landon Donovan from playing indoor with the San Diego Sockers. He said, I'm not from here, so I didn't really know who he was necessarily. Paul Wright, who's a San Diego indoor soccer legend, a 25-year career. Ended up telling him a little more about what Landon meant to American soccer at the tail end of his career. He played that brief indoor stint and then pretty much immediately became the manager and co-owner at San Diego Loyal. So Siaha coming out of the indoor realm and into outdoor play, but they had one of the best goalkeepers in Coque Vegas, who's still at Rhode Island in the league. So an understudy at San Diego, eventually gets the chance to move up to Monterey Bay. Was engaged in a year-long goalkeeping competition, ended up winning the job. 102 saves we mentioned last year, and then making the move to Hartford this year. He's played every minute. Ball across the face of Siaha and out the other side.
To be fair, you wouldn't expect to run into one of the best American soccer players of all time playing in indoor.
Yeah, playing San Diego Sockers.
You wouldn't expect that to be the. I could see where that would be a little bit confusing in terms of once you get the full bio report on Landon Donovan.
Yeah, Landon's he's a junkie for sure for the game, and with San Diego Sockers, 10 games, 5 goals after a brief stint in Mexico at León. After, of course, his record-setting career with the Galaxy and with the U.S. national team.
He never scored on them.
No?
No.
Oh, thank goodness.
One of the few.
Yeah. Like Beverly Macangila came through San Diego, didn't really get much opportunity there, and Landon essentially vouched to Brendan Burke in Colorado Springs, hey, I think he's ready, it's just not a fit with us right now, and did right by the player making the move to Colorado. There's a handful of those guys that Landon Donovan really looked after. Ball through from Engelina. The other thing I'll say about San Diego Loyal, because Siaha was one of the last guys to latch on somewhere. Xavi Nalati, a guy with Monterey Bay now, who came out of that last Loyal team. every single player on that roster, when they disbanded, ended up signing a professional contract elsewhere the following season.
That's great.
And I think that says a lot about the players and the level that they had, but also Landon and Nate Miller as well did an amazing job ensuring that these guys were connected well enough to get to their next landing spot.
No, that's great. Especially because when you commit yourself as a player to a team like that and you're going through that, that's something that's in the back of your mind.
And they aren't folding, but Loudoun United's in the same boat with Ryan Martin right now. It's something Fresno dealt with under Adam Smith, where suddenly you don't know what the future is. What's that going to mean? Players have to think for themselves too. This to the top of the 18, maybe a real chance, got blockaded for Rebel R. He lost his footing. It continues. Lions hangs this up, and Siaha able to snag at the high point. And Siaha ensures that he's able to usher an extra, 10 seconds off the clock with this maneuver?
See, this is something that the referee should be aware of, in my opinion. There is a second rule for goalkeepers, and it's one thing to make that save to fall over once you catch the ball in hand, but let's get another look at it here. It is a good bit of goalkeeping here. He's able to cover his far post well. He needed every single bit of his frame. But this is the one right here. That, for me, that's when a referee might start ticking away at the seconds, because for me, that's just making too much of a meal of it.
Is there like a rule how many steps you get to take? I think it's subjective, right?
I don't know about the steps because I never executed that maneuver myself, but I do know that there's a seconds rule.
Sure.
So the amount of time, and I mean that's rarely called, but
to me it's one of those, if you go and take 2 steps and fall over, you can hey I was
yeah, I was
a little
like
unsteady, and that was like 9 steps.
I tripped.
Yeah. No, the turf monster got Siaha. And the funny thing is you hear some of the fans now starting to count seconds on Siaha. Last year, they were doing the exact opposite, cheering those moments.
Right. How quickly they turn.
Yeah, well, like Jack Parkman in the movie series Major League. What a difference a different jersey will do, in essence. So injury here for Hartford. And Monterey Bay is preparing their 4th sub. This is Joel Garcia Jr. on for Miles Lyons, who was on a yellow card. Lyons finishes his 9th start. Came back into the team here tonight. Garcia had started 20 of 21 appearances for the club. And he'll come off the bench for the 2nd time this year. From Salinas. Played at San Jose State and was with Monterey Bay 2 in the summers. Was at the Town with Jordan Stewart last year, and then obviously follows to play for his former and once again current coach. Rebel R tees up, Klein. That's one where you want to see him go, huh? This a laser beam up above the bar.
Yeah, it seemed like on this ball and this cutback here, it's a good opportunity here. It's a shot from distance. That's always going to be tough to test a goalkeeper like Siaha from that distance, though. But it's that initial ball there from Klein. As we get a look at the hit here, he's over it. It's a good knuckling ball, but unfortunately unable to test the goalkeeper. But it's that initial ball in from Klein. He gets the ball on top of the box. I think his mind was made up before he even received the pass that he was going to lay that ball off. But if he had a different opportunity, he could have peeked over his shoulder, realized that he had a lot of space, opened that body up, dragged that body up, and open up a little bit so he has a shot for himself. Could have been the better opportunity there for the attacker.
Anthony Siaha did just get a yellow card, by the way.
And I'm sure it was deserved. And that's coming from the goalkeeper union.
I don't think I've ever actually heard you take that side before.
Well, take it once I saw the 5 steps and then the fall.
Yeah,
that gave me the he's definitely wasting time. Didn't try to hide it.
Gordon spinning around. The man's got 9 yellow cards this year.
There you go.
That is commitment to the bit, no doubt. Engelina got it from Edwards. Rips it across and tapped in by Edwards. Edwards finishes the job into double figures on the year, and Hartford has their insurance. This epic run from Hartford Athletic just continues.
And it's the substitute Edwards coming in and making a difference in this one. Monterey Bay has a tough task ahead of him. It's this overlapping run here. And look at this driven ball across. He takes his touch, he picks his head up, drives that ball low across the ground. It comes in, takes the deflection, and then Edwards is there to clean it up. But it's these low driven balls across the box. If you find yourself in a situation where you're at that baseline, drive that ball across the box. There's traffic in front of you. You never know what's going to happen. And fortunately for Edwards, he's on the receiving end of that one, able to find it in the back in the far post. And again, it's Hartford. It hasn't been pretty. We haven't seen a ton of possession, but they just know how to get the job done right now. It's just another example. We had one goal in the first half, absolute golazo. This one's a low-driven cross in, takes a couple deflections. Edwards, double-digit goal scorer, able to find the back of the net. Just able to get the job done, this Hartford team.
And here's two things that stood out to me about that goal. It's an Edwards give and go to Engelina because he gives it off to him, then joins in the attack and makes himself available. The other thing that hits me, who's the first guy who celebrated on Panayiotu's goal, who joined him in striking a pose? Sebastian Anderson. Anderson's the one who put that ball in front of Edwards. When Edwards slashes it home,
you see
his arms go straight, and he's the first one to be hugging Edwards after the goal is scored. I give a ton of credit to Anderson in that. I think it gets overlooked sometimes what it means to be a great teammate. He scored no goals tonight. He walked away celebrating too, and not enough players understand that.
That's a great point. You need to have players like that as well, getting themselves involved. Doesn't care, it's unselfish.
Edwards trying to add the exclamation point.
I mean, talk about this Hartford team. Big game, big midweek game. They're in a good run of form. Travel all the way out west. Unless Monterey Bay is able to pull something out of their hat, pick up another 3 points, continue this good run of form, keeping the good momentum, keeping the good vibes going in the locker room, midweek to the weekend. Just trying to keep things rolling and keep things moving into the next week.
And it is a really complicated finishing stretch. Fair off, and Pierce Galloway in. BBSI presents the subs. Sub Babaku Njai come in a moment ago for Hartford, and so both teams have utilized the full 5 substitute complement tonight. Hartford will host Pittsburgh, easier said than done. They go to Colorado Springs in the Brendan Burke Bowl, then at Oakland, so they travel west again. They are due to both host Sacramento and play them in the Jaeger Cup final back-to-back. Then they finish at Tampa Bay and at Louisville.
Not an easy slate here.
No, so this is one where they could go on a run and finish in the top 4. But to do it, they're probably going to need to beat 3 or 4 playoff teams. In winning this game on the road, you've probably sealed your place in the postseason to some extent. You feel really good about it now.
Well, we're going to learn a lot about this Hartford team throughout the course of the rest of their season. Because those are the games against these playoff teams that if you're able to pick up some of these wins, there'll be something to keep an eye on. If you're able to pick up some of these wins and build off of the momentum that they've gotten to this point, then you're talking a team that's stepping into the playoffs with extreme momentum, feeling very good about themselves, knowing that they could compete against the teams that are in the playoffs. Oh, we see the frustration starting to boil over here. Campazano is frustrated with the referee here.
Yeah. Now for Hartford, by the way, this would be 9 points above the line. And Indy 11, who are in 9th place with 6 games remaining. The old adage I hear from coaches, if there's more points needed than there are games remaining, it's a really difficult chase to make. Monterey Bay would be 6 points behind Phoenix pending the late results tonight with 5 games remaining.
Well, in this game, if they were able to score their chances early, this game could have swung so much differently.
Yep.
For this Monterey Bay team, they had 2 different opportunities before Hartford was able to find the back of the net. They found themselves in front of the goal. One, Siaha makes a decent save down to his right. The other one ends up right to him. And then after those 2 chances, Hartford really took over control of this game. From there, it's just been a couple crosses from Monterey Bay, but really nothing that developed much of a rhythm. Not too many great looks on goal. And Hartford, being opportunistic, made the most of their chances, and
it's been the story of the last 3 months for them. Ball in front of goal. 2 Monterey Bay players have a chance. Neither make clean contact. The latter at the back post was Joel Garcia. And with 5 minutes of added time, they could have added a very chaotic element.
But that's what we've seen a lot of. You know, it's a good ball driven in, but just unable to get a touch on it. Good opportunities in front of the net, ends up finding the hands of the goalkeeper.
By the way, Phoenix has pulled level with Sacramento, 2-2. Means the playoff line would be 31. It would be 7 points away from Monterey Bay with 5 games remaining. And every team above them has games in hand, not the least of which Orange County will have 3 games in hand. They're 2 points off the line. And as mentioned earlier, very complex finish. Tough schedule. Engelina. Now it's Edwards. Edwards scores. A brace tonight. 11 on the year. Hartford, they won't need a plane to fly home. They'll levitate back to Connecticut. 3-0, 3 points, and 2 points out of third.
Love Siaha getting into these celebrations every single time coming up from his goal. But this is good build-up play here. It's this Engelina run. He gets on the inside of that defender. It's good goalkeeping there from Campazano. He's able to come out, smother the ball, clear from Engelina's feet. But unfortunately, when things are not going your way, the ball falls right to a player like Edwards, who has nothing but time to put it into the back of the net. Engelina and Edwards really have been connecting here for these last 2 goals. It's that run from Engelina. He's able to find himself on the inside. Oh, this is frustration here as you're seeing it from Campazano, but it's Engelina who's able to find himself on the inside of that outside back. He makes that run in behind that back line. Campazano comes out, he gets a good touch on it, but unfortunately for this Monterey Bay team, it falls at the feet of Edwards, and that all but wraps this one up here for this Hartford group.
Engelina involved in 2 goals tonight. Barry involved in a goal. 2 goals for Edwards. Gorgeous finish from Panayotu. If you were going to script this as Hartford Athletic, that is precisely what you had in mind. And again, you look down the line, the only team that they face that is outside of playoff position in the West is Oakland. The only one in the East is Tampa Bay. Both tough opponents. But 4 of their last 6 against teams in the playoffs right now. Pittsburgh, Colorado Springs, Sacramento, and Louisville.
Is Tampa Bay home or away?
It is away. Only doubles the difficulty of it. Kyle Edwards just tied the championship single season record for goals by a substitute. 7 of his 11 goals coming off the bench, including 2 tonight.
Talk about a weapon. When you have that type of scoring power coming off your bench.
Galena crossing this out for a corner. You feel like you... There was an amazing article that Stats Perform and Opta put out about the fake nature of the super sub and how it could be so misleading. But tell that to the Rowdies when it was Juan Tejada, and tell that to Hartford when it's Kyle Edwards.
I heard a coach say, it was in a, I forget where I saw it on, but it was in a locker room talk that he was given, that he calls his bench players closers.
Yep. This rip toward Fred. Now Anderson's got his goal. He has been menacing all night. Oh, did he earn that? Hartford Athletic lead by 4. What an emphatic conclusion. Wow.
And Hartford Athletic have done just everything that they needed to do tonight, and that's the man. That's Mike Watts' man right there. He's been celebrating goals with the rest of the team. The ball is driven low across the box. And again, I hate to keep harping on it, but Monterey Bay, their poor flag post in the corner, Anderson having to deal with that. He's able to drive the ball to that far post, but again, it's the defending for Monterey Bay. It's just way too easy for this group. The ball just driven low across the box, easy pass across the box. It's a trailing run of Anderson. He's been celebrating goals all night, and that is a one-touch finish to the far post. Absolute screamer, and that should all but do it. The referee should be calling this one any second now, and Hartford with an emphatic 4-0 lead here away at Monterey Bay to pick up all 3 points and continue this run that they've been on.
And there is full time. Hartford may be the hottest team in the league, and it continues. Brendan Burke has watched this team navigate into 5th place and just 2 points out of 3rd. And Monterey Bay, it is now a dim, dim light. Look at what Hartford Athletic has accomplished. Their 10th win of the season.
Look at the standings there as well. Creeping up on this Loudoun group. This Loudoun group with a -1 goal differential. They dropped the game this week. Only 2 points behind 3rd place. And this is a team that has a lot of momentum. If you're keeping an eye on the teams that are hot in the Eastern Conference, if you're keeping an eye on the teams that are hot in the league, there is no hotter team than this Hartford group right now. They're scoring from all different angles. They're getting the job done in different ways. Defensively, they've been strong. They have strong goalkeeping, and they have attackers that are able to put the ball into the back of the net. Look out for this group.
And even it's Anderson tonight, too, with his 4th career goal in all competitions, spanning well over 125 games. Edwards, 2 goals, 7 as a substitute this year, ties the league record. And Anthony Siaha returns with a clean sheet. Hartford wins it 4-0. And we'll wrap it up on the other side of the break here in Seaside. Anthony Siaha's return to Monterey Bay is a winning one with Hartford Athletic. His career really took off in Seaside, and Hartford sees their season continue to elevate all the way into 5th place in the East, if you can believe it. Mike Watts, Jeff Attanella trying to wrap this one up and wrap your head around what Hartford did here tonight. You mentioned it. There were chances for Monterey Bay early, but once those were squandered, Jack Panayiotou wasn't going to squander his.
Well, it was really after this goal that this game completely flipped on its head, where Monterey Bay didn't really have many chances after this one, and this was an absolute wonder goal. Panayiotou takes that touch inside, buries it far post. It took a little bit of time for Hartford to get that second one, but Ningali plays the ball across here, and Edwards ended up being the victim of that. But look at this, we talked about it earlier, look at the Anderson celebration here. The ball is driven low across the box. If you are a player or a young player who is watching this and you get the ball down to that byline like that, drive that ball low, put it in the traffic, that's exactly what happens, and good things happen here. As we get another look at this one here, they weren't done yet. It's that run here from behind. Good goalkeeping here from Camazano, but when things are not going your way, they are really not going your way. The good goalkeeping ends up with the foot of Edwards, who was able to get his 7th goal from the bench, 11th of the season. You talk about a super sub. Some people don't believe in it, but I'm a believer, and he is exactly that. And this is the one. This is the one. Anderson, the ball is driven low across the box. Pass ball, one-touch finish to the far post to absolutely put the exclamation mark on this one. You're not going to hit a ball better than that, and you are not going to find a hotter team in the USL than this Hartford Athletic group.
Cariaga adds an assist off the bench, 2 goals from Edwards. So look at the final stats here tonight. And look, if you're Hartford, run and gun is back. That's accurate. And it is a team right now that's going to play a final in a couple weeks against Sacramento. They've got tough sledding ahead, but they are in 5th place, 9 points above the line.
Well, just look at the shots on target as well. 8 shots on target. I mean, that's a night offensively where they didn't even have the possession. They didn't need to win the possession battle to create those many different opportunities and that many shots, and they're able to get the shutout. They have good goalkeeping. They have good defending, opportunistic offense, and as we saw tonight, they can hit the ball as well. There were multiple opportunities where they were shooting the ball from distance, testing the Monterey Bay side. This is a team that's really putting it all together. They have a tough schedule coming up, and we'll see how it goes, but there's no hotter team than this Hartford group.
And they have gotten 6 different goal scorers in the last 3 games. Everybody's involved. Kelpie never lost the faith, but unfortunately on this occasion, Monterey Bay falls short. It was tight up to the 85th minute. Hartford a trio of goals thereafter, and Hartford Athletic wins it 4-0 tonight. So for Jeff Antonella and our entire team in Seaside and beyond, Mike Watts saying thanks for watching the championship on this Saturday night. Hartford's flying. They win it 4-0. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.